and welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm over here getting everything ready on the screen because we had to fix a few things. But other than that, we are back. I'm Gonzo, if you haven't heard already. In the bottom left-hand corner, that is also one of my great and awesome friends, John Spencer. Say hi, John.
Hey-o!
And on the bottom right hand, Kathy is going to be doing some painting herself, and so she decided she didn't see her lovely, beautiful face. You can see her painting, and so she's going to be doing that. She's got some work she needs to work on. Kathy, say hi.
I see live people.
You see live people. At least they're not dead. Guys, today is another good full-type episode. We love that everyone's here. Oh, yeah, it is episode 83 coming up on our 100.
Yes, it is.
Woot, woot. I'm glad everybody remembers that. Today's topics, we're going to cover what was said at Privateer Press's Lock and Load press release and whatever, and talk about what they have coming and what's going on and blah, 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 blah. But we did have a request to talk about the contrast paints again, and we are 100% going to show and talk about that. But before that, we have to do our duty and privilege.
Our business.
Yeah, we got to get the business done. We want to thank all of our sponsors that help us out and keep this podcast running. Not only the viewers like you, the people listening, and everybody that donates or gives or whatever to our podcast. We appreciate it completely. But we also have our other sponsors like Muse on Minis. Muse on Minis is a great place to buy for your token sets, widgets, game mats, you name it. Also, if you go there and use the code MORETHANDICE on the discount code, you get 10% off your order. I think that's a pretty baller deal, and it also helps us on that too. We also want to thank Tectonic Crest Studios, Dan the Man, for helping us out. We did
Thanks,
not.
Dan.
Tray.
Yeah.
I got rid of that tray.
We actually forgot to do his giveaway last week.
We'll do it.
But we'll do it. John, that is your job to remind me, so you can't drink too heavily.
Too late.
Too late.
Last week we gave away a few things. I haven't been able to send them off lately because life has been really busy, but I will be sending those off. Today, I will give away from Dan. What do we want to say we want to give away? Anything? Anything?
I don't remember.
That
Bueller?
terrain thing.
Terrain, yes.
Give some terrain away? All right, I'll keep
Okay.
that later. Oh, wait a minute. I got some cool stuff in here. Wait.
Uh-oh.
Wait. I have a tree, a wall, a ruined masonry wall. Why don't we give away the masonry wall and the tree today?
Okay. I think, as my memory comes back, I think we were going to give away gift codes last time, but that'll work.
Yeah, let's do that. I can give away gift codes later.
Okay,
We'll give
that
away
works.
those. Ruined MDF wall and a tree. It is called the deciduous tree.
And you know what deciduous means?
Tree.
No, man. It's a tree that's leaves fall off in the fall.
Yeah. And so we'll give that away. We also want to thank
Whatever.
Mechanica Studios, which he is being very kind to us and letting us sell our products on his store. There will be a link pop up every so often on the Twitch stream that shows all of our widget sets, our zones, everything you need for playing a game. And
Not to mention his own cool products, like the tray I keep talking about for Legion I really want to buy, and I keep forgetting because I'm a terrible person.
which we are doing a giveaway on that. You will have to do it through our Facebook page. So, because we're going to have an actual contest, not just give it away, because that was one of his requirements. He wants something cool done. He has a Star Wars Legion tray that he wants to give away. It's a really good tray, too, when we give that away. But he makes some really cool trays. He does a lot of trophy building for people. Really awesome guy. Chris is a really good friend of mine. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. John, what you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm going to start off with a shot of Apple Smash from Captain Morgan, and then follow it up with my 5th or 6th or more Kraken and
Holy shit.
Bark Fruit Beer for the day.
Kathy, what are you drinking tonight?
Rum and Coke.
Oh, big surprise.
Right?
I thought you said ramen coke for a second. I'm like, what? Ramen coke? That sounds terrible.
Ramen Coke. That's a
Ramen?
new thing.
That's a new Japanese thing.
Mhm.
Would not surprise me in the
It's a
slightest.
hipster. It's a hipster thing.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, hey, Cosmic Cubicle.
Hey, Cosmic.
I just looked up and saw people in the chat. Yay!
I am drinking because the store had it, and I was able to get a couple of 4-packs. A good old bottle of Dragon's Milk.
Impending Duff is here.
What? Hey, Duff. What you up to, buddy? You need to call me, by the way.
So I had a.
Oh, sorry. We gotta say a cheer. What's our cheer this time?
Our fans, our listeners, our friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Because
Oh,
it's
man,
really
that stuff's
hot
good.
right here, so I'm really in love with my fan right now.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, buddy, no big deal. I just got to get some stuff done for you. Yeah, Cosmic Cubicle. That's kind of why we've had to limit it to where we ship our stuff, too. I'm going to go switch over to the paint cam. Let's talk about the contrast paints before we go and talk about the lock and load information.
And I feel like I'm the odd man out. Maybe I should change my paint cam too.
I don't care.
I mean, I'm not going to paint, but
Oh, yeah. Well, we know that.
hey, I did my hobby for today, sucker.
All right.
Leave me alone
So,
and make
these are the two models I'm going to work on while we're here. This is a Song of Ice and Fire NCU that I'm using. And, of course, a Stormtrooper. I'm going to try something really quick on him. And we tried this last week, and this was the Death Trooper that I did. And just did it a quick, slathered it on. It turned out really nice. But we were talking about a model. We got the pre-release models from Conquest. They gave us a bunch of models to put together and paint up and such. And I wanted to test the contrast paints on one of their brutes, Spire brutes, and they're big honking beasts. And I had a paint scheme in mind, and I was like, this is a perfect time to try the contrast paints. So I can't see my video right now. There we go.
Oh, I can. That looks nice.
And so what I did is I wanted the bone part to actually look like bone. I wanted the cloth to just be a white little mummy type cloth. And then I had these tabards here, and I didn't want to keep the tabard the same as the rat bandages because it just kind of blends.
You need that contrast
yeah.
and color.
Yeah. And so I took the turquoise and did that, and that's actually 2 layers of turquoise. But all the other parts is 1 layer.
So what did you use for the white? Was it the contrast white?
Yeah, it was the Apothecary white.
Okay.
And just, I really got, honestly, guys, I just kind of slathered this on as quickly as possible as I could. Didn't even worry about it. The only non-contrast paint I did is I wanted this piece up here to look metallic. And so I just grabbed one of my metallics and painted it right here and got it done. But I put a little bit of black in some spots where I thought like the bandages weren't actually wrapping around the body. Just because I thought it would be kind of cool looking, and it just adds a little difference to the thing. I need to do a little bit of cleanup work, but technically, base this bitch and it's done.
That's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this literally took me maybe 15 minutes or so, if that, and it was mostly, I mean, I got a little bit, let me turn down my lights a bit. I got a little bit of glare. And it was done. I mean, it turned out really, really well, really, really quickly, and I was really surprised. The bone on this, the contrast bone skeletal horde is amazing. I don't care what anybody says. It is
Every time
great.
I've seen somebody use it, it has looked just like bone.
Yeah.
Like effortless.
My screen's a little washed out right now. Just because of the lights and stuff. I'm going to try to work on that a little bit more. But this turned out incredibly good. It's one of my favorite colors to use in the line. And then we did this last week. And this was the Dryad that I tried. And it was the really dark blue. The ultramarine blue, which I thought was going to be a lot lighter. I kind of put it on a little thick. It's okay. I was learning how to use it, but it wasn't the shade of blue I liked. The skeleton, of course, came out amazingly. The leaves came out just like I like, the yellow with a hint of orange. I tried a little,
It's a good leaf color.
Yeah.
Very autumn feel.
Yes, and
Yeah,
that's
I
kind of
like
what I'm
it.
going for, is an autumn type feel for it. But the stone I didn't even worry about. I was like, and I just tried this little green glow in here just to kind of, test it out
Try
a
it
bit.
out.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. But it was definitely not the color that I wanted. So I'm going to reprime this and, start from scratch.
I
So,
actually feel like that with a dry brush of a lighter blue would look fucking legit.
yeah, it's just not the color that I wanted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I like it.
Yeah. So I went back. I decided I'm not going to paint another model because there's a blue that I wanted to try. And so I went back to the store, bought a shit ton more contrast paints, and decided to try again. And so I came up with this. This is the Talisar blue over the white primer.
That is a world of difference, sir.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, just check out the color difference. I mean, beyond belief. Now, this is one that I would finish and be done with, and I wouldn't care. The bone was the same way. I did take the snakebite leather and just touch a little bit on the, the leather pieces, just to be there. I did take the rock and use the apothecary white, and then I took the warp lightning green and put it in the stone, just to make it there and look good. But the one thing that really kind of shocked me is I didn't like this tabard and his carvings to be blue. I needed something to shake it up. I needed some contrast on there. So I was like, blue, contrast, orange, let's go for it. So I grabbed the Inyaden yellow and put it on here.
Yandon.
Yeah, whoever you say.
I see John doing it. So,
Okay.
So what happened is I put it directly on the blue. Now, I was really shocked that I thought it was just going to be like an orange little glooping in the cracks. And no, it actually turned really, really cool bright green. Now, we all know yellow and blue makes green, but the blue... Yeah. Well, the thing is the blue was completely dried. And when I put the yellow over it, it just instantly changed to green. And I was like...
more testing to see if that's going to happen with more contrast paints, or if it was just
correct.
random happenstance.
Yeah. And so from here on out, this is the kind of paint scheme I'm going to go with my dryads. Orange for the eyes and like a little mouth just to give it, that eerie look. The yellow over the blue for the ruins and, little squiggle marks and stuff. The carvings, and of course the brown. And the stone, just to do that. And go with this as my color scheme. I'm going to take it and base the bottom in some rocks and paint the rocks like a dark gray. And then a light gray over on top of it. And then, of course, I've got snow that I'm going to put around it. The white fluffy Citadel snow that I'm going to put in places like I did on my original paint scheme.
I think you might better with brown with snow rather than gray with snow. So
Well-
I'm worried that the gray is going to draw your eyes too much. Right now, you have a little bit of weirdness because the white base and the skeleton, you're looking at the base all the time, even with the skeleton there.
Yeah.
If you make it a more neutral brown, it might help you. That and the one big rock will more center your eyes. You got two focus points, so you'll start looking at the whole model, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm definitely going to do it. It's going to be a rock base, a heavy gravel type base. But with snow, I'm going to take a little bit of that snow and kind of put little spots here and there on the bodies and, up in here just so it's got, like it's coming from the winter type theme because that's kind of what my paint scheme was going to be to begin with. But this part with the green, where it changed it, this bright emerald or this emerald style green, really, really, really I was impressed with. I was like, that's, like I said, it's a happy little accident.
I bet one of those guys would look awesome in Spaceballs Gray.
Probably would. I can do another test. I don't have a problem with that. I do a Spaceballs Gray.
You don't have extra models. Don't worry about it. I can beat some up. Pick one. I mean, ask someone kindly for an extra model.
Well, I'm kind of also waiting for some Transformer cards.
Oh, shots fired, huh?
So today I'm going to work on.
So at this point, we're waiting for the next set to come out because there's no point in sending you 2 shipments.
I know.
Yeah, good point.
Luckily, life has calmed down, so that should happen soon. So my apologies for that, officially.
So I'm going to do the Stormtrooper, and all I'm going to do with this Stormtrooper today is I'm just going to slather it, there's better words for it, with the Apothecary White. And then after that, I'm going to do touch-up work on it and see how quickly I can get it done.
So does this mean you're doing the black after the white
Correct.
done?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm doing that is because the black, if I do the black Space Marine one, or the Black Templar one, it takes a long time to dry. So
I
I'm
don't
just
think
going
you should be using that black on there. I think you should be using standard black on him.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going to actually be standard black is, in between the plates and type
And
stuff.
honestly, those guys look awesome. Gloss varnish them when you're done.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'll probably do a brush on gloss because I don't want the gun glossy.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I brush.
Oh,
I
yeah.
brush varnish everything. I don't spray varnish.
Yeah.
Tester spray varnish is the bomb diggity.
Yep.
But I've heard too many horror stories. You work 8.5 years in the phone at Games Workshop, you hear all the horror stories.
Man, this
All
camera
of them.
keeps on jumping all over the place. But I'm just going to do that real quick. I'm going to see if I can fix the camera because it looks like it's really, 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 really fuzzy.
Oh,
Am I getting a good picture?
I didn't get that
Okay.
impression.
Maybe it's just because I'm looking at my iPad. My iPad's pretty sucky on that too.
Possible.
I thought it was me.
Oh, maybe it is. Hold on, let me see if I can work on my camera.
No, it's definitely going in and out of focus. That's not my eyes.
Okay.
Oh, is your camera doing that thing where it's jerking around
Yeah.
again, the focus?
Yep.
What causes that?
Autofocus.
Dark magic.
Can you not turn autofocus off?
Yeah, I can. Give me a second. I can do's that.
I still think
That's like the very first thing I do because it's just so annoying otherwise.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting close-ups on certain things. I was trying with these Armada ships on Thursday, and it was like, come on.
Actually, let's not worry about that because in case it crashes or something, we don't have to
What?
worry about it.
Our
You know
stream
us.
never crashes. What are you talking about? Our technology is solid. I can't even keep this stream base up.
So tonight I'm gonna paint this and then I'm gonna work on this guy and he has to be primarily black. Doesn't have to be, but he is a Night Watch model, and I'm gonna try to keep a little bit into theme with him with a little bit of changes. So,
Talk about dark blue instead of black. It's a much easier color to paint.
well, I'm gonna be using contrast
That's
with it.
true.
I'm just saying.
I'm
I'm
use
not
the contrast.
saying. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. All right, so I'm gonna slather this on as just quick and get it done. I'm not even worried about it. Just the only thing I'm going to be cautious on is his gun.
Oh, bother. You're going to paint over it.
Well, I actually want to use the contrast black on his gun because I like the way that came out.
Okay.
I like the way that black came out. It came out with that little undertone of stuff and everything on it. So I was wanting to use that.
I'm very interested in Stormtrooper paint schemes since when Clone Wars comes out, I'm going to get just enough clones to have at least one army for, just for variety, and because I'm going to use my Clone Wars set to teach people with since I traded away all the Imperials from the base set.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I wanted more Rebels out, spend a lot of money. I'll be honest, guys, it's a cheap way to go, but don't do it. Just buy the other models you need, keep the rest. Unless you're certain you will never, ever, 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 ever need to teach them how to play the game. And you can never be certain of that. So.
I traded away my Rebels for more Stormtrooper. Just, switch over.
Yeah, I think the problem is that we're the kind of people who are sort of the go-getters in the community, let's say, so we should never do that because it actually, we might need to teach somebody, and the stores aren't always going to have models. So.
Oh, yeah. If you're the person that's trying to grow the community and stuff, then yeah.
Even if you're not, if you're the one who ends up doing it, if it's just your lot in life.
Yeah. So I'm going to let that dry.
I only click Rebels too. I just realized it was a mistake based on what I do in life. So I don't fault anyone for that at all. I just think
I do not carry that responsibility.
it gets thrust upon me, and I just fucking take it on my shoulders because someone's gotta. Sometimes it's you or nobody, and nobody just won't fucking do. So it's got to be you. All right, let's get out of deep thoughts. Let's talk about something totally silly.
All right, so this weekend,
Ruff, ruff.
lock and load happened. Yeah, my dogs. They're not barking right now.
No. So John and I were thinking that we should do the entire podcast in dog speak. Like barking.
Wow, yeah, Cosmic People, that is some horrendous shipping. That violates my rule of shipping. It's too much shipping for a product. Unless it's really, really awesome product.
Where was it coming from and where was it going to?
Yeah, that's a lot of money. $25 for $33 is hee.
That's got to be going to another country.
Yeah.
I like twitched when the guy on eBay wanted like $3.50 to send me some cards. I'm like, oh, camera case, okay, fair. I got good price cases, so it's probably okay. But I used to just save those up, and we'll get a group of us to buy stuff like that together to split the shipping costs because it gets so expensive.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, bulky things are always going to be expensive.
Probably so internationally.
It doesn't even matter how much it weighs if it's bulky.
Yeah. So, but anyways, Lock and Load. We're talking about Lock and Load, right?
Yeah, so Lock and Load happened this weekend. It just finished up not a few hours ago. I watched the last two streams of the game.
I did not know the name of the person who won the Masters. I know it was with Retribution.
No,
Retribution
did not win. I know the guy Mark Landry. I can't remember his full name, but Mark won with Circle. He was going against
the Iron Gauntlet.
Oh, sir. Was it Matt McWaters?
I don't know who it was. I just know he had Retribution and he had double lawnmowers.
Then it was Matt McWaters.
Yeah. And Marc-Andre LeBlanc, who, I mean, rumor has he doesn't play, he won Iron Gauntlet. So, congrats.
Yeah, he won that, which is really cool. I watched both. I watched the semifinal and the finals on Twitch. It was
I watched a little bit of the. So FFG's having their worlds too for Legion. So there was a lot of gaming going on this weekend.
Oh yeah, it was.
Just not in my house.
Yeah.
But so Lock and Load had some good outs and had a good keynote.
The keynote was very interesting. I want to talk about something that came up that was in my head the whole time, and they always said that they would be doing this. A new faction every year.
Yeah, not this year.
Not this coming year, which is interesting.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to be blunt for a second here. We try to be positive. They fucking need to get their shit together before they put another faction out.
Yeah. Not that.
I hate this. I mean, Infernals, they're about, for new factions, they have, let's count Convergence as one of their new factions. Convergence through Infernals. They have two factions that are fucking gimmicks, and two factions I think are solid and very enjoyable and good for the game. You can guess which two are to which.
Yeah. But, so they kind of broke away from that. They didn't even say anything about it. They weren't even doing whatever. So they just went with it, and no new faction for next year.
It's a good idea. I mean, it really is. They need to. They can focus on what they've got. They said they got a lot of stuff for Convergence to come out instead, which is cool. Those guys some love too.
Yep. Convergence has got enough stuff coming out, and the thing is about that's what's coming out for Convergence. We don't know, but hey, more power to them.
Absolutely.
The one thing that I did think was interesting was they did hype up, the other stuff coming out. Riot Quest, for a lot of people, is a big thing. And it's a big thing in two reasons. It's one, it's a new game, and two, all those models can be used in War Machine and Hordes.
And three, one you're missing, and this is very funny, we'll call back in. It's non-competitive. They say specifically it's not hyper-competitive.
Yeah. It's meant to be played, and you can play a tournament with it, but it's not meant for serious hardcore play.
Well, then it will become competitive.
Wait, but
play
it's
a
not
tournament with it.
The reason it's funny is because it is, putting it lightly, inspired by Warhammer Underworlds.
Oh, absolutely. I could tell. I don't even know anything about it. And 2 seconds after you said that, I was drawing that correlation.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, GW hypes those up as being the ultimate in competitive for their games, while PP is going the direction, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah. But they did tout that it is silly stuff, and you get to do silly things, but all models can be used.
They have some cool models. Sam McHorn, One Woman Army looks great.
I know that a lot of people are looking for Helga on a Harley. And that's what I'm going to call it, is Helga on a Harley until we see
I
her.
don't know what that is, but it
Helga
sounds awesome.
is a minion model, a minion warlock that is a pig. And
God,
She's
a
like
hog
the
on a
classic
hog.
opera pig with the spear and the shield. She looks like an opera singer pig
Yeah.
with a spear and shield.
It's a hog on a hog.
yes,
But it's so fucking silly because it doesn't belong in the fucking game. Never mind. Not going
it belongs in Riot Quest. He did describe it
barely
a bit.
belongs in TMNT after the bomb, for fuck's sake.
He did say that she is going to be riding something like a mini meat thresher. So it'll be a motorcycle meat thresher thing. So
Meat thresher.
yeah, there's a model called a meat thresher. You have to look it up.
You are darn tootin', Kazucubicle. Best RPG ever, TMNT. Super fun.
Yeah.
One of my first.
But all the models in that game are going to be able to use in War Machine and Hordes. Great. It makes it. There's a reason for anybody to buy it now. Especially if they want that model. Like, oh, I don't care if I have this one, but yeah, I definitely want that one for my army because he helps me out. Perfect
It depends on
cross-platform.
how they're available.
Correct.
If they're ones in the core box set are super good, I'm gonna have a problem because it's a lot of expenditure. It's like the models that are only available in the what was their skirmish game they didn't fucking support at all. Company of Iron.
Company of Iron, yes.
Yeah, those two models are very cool, but being only available in that box is a turnoff.
But what else did they do with it? I mean, they talked quite a bit about it.
They didn't like really super spoil anything, but they showed a lot of pictures of very interesting models. It's got a very dungeon crawly, humorous feel.
Yep. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just going to say it right now. It looks like it's going to be a great game to play. Get together, have a bunch of friends, go for it, and just blow each other up and make jokes and crack and have a good time.
Yeah,
And I'm all for that. 100% for that.
absolutely.
But then with that, we don't know the full rules. They did a lot of demos over the weekend. And
I'm surprised it wasn't available for purchase. I guess our Gen Con guest might actually end up
being right.
being right. Shit.
Yeah. But
I do dig that black.
but I really like that, it is going to be available and it will be at Gen Con, they said, and people can purchase it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm all for it. It looks like a lot of fun. I may have to find me a ninja to get me an advanced copy.
I don't know anyone who will be at Gen Con.
Oh, I know. But last time I asked you to get something, you wouldn't do it.
So, let's go in sort of reverse order. Let's talk about the other new game before we talk about the changes to the Old Faithful.
Okay.
So,
As everybody knows, Privateer Press is making a new miniature game. Big surprise, right?
I didn't know that.
Well, they are making...
as everyone but Kathy knows.
As Kathy is kind of out of the loop right now. Privateer Press is making their first science fiction miniature game. Full-fledged miniature game. It is called Warcaster. Thought that was a very interesting name to use. Not sure I like it, but hey.
Mr. Neo Mechanica.
Yeah.
Officially.
Everybody's calling it 5K. Is kind of what they're dubbing.
Everyone. A lot of people were calling it War Machine 40K.
Yeah. But one of the...
That's actually funny.
Yeah. It's 5,000 years in the future on a different planet, far, far away.
Is it the grim dark future?
No, I think it's less grimdark. I think they're going to skip grimdark and go for their standard sort of gray.
Happy?
No, not happy. Gray. They're very gray.
So grim medium.
Grim medium. I know that they said that there's not going to be spells. There's not going to be magic.
Okay, cool.
I think is what we were last hearing is that it's more going to be
50 Shades of Grim Medium.
50 Shades of Grim Medium. That's great.
Well played, Cosmic Evil. Well played, sir.
I have a feeling that it is going to be more like psychics or
I hate
boosting
Oh,
powers.
you need like
because it's so cliche.
40K?
But
Why not
here's the thing.
magic in space? Because no one does magic in space. Do magic in space.
Yeah. We don't know. We can't say.
People play psychics in space. Yeah, it's true. They always think that because you have all this technology, it negates magic.
Yeah.
But if magic were a real thing, then why would that happen?
Is that not the coolest thing about Babylon 5? They had the techno mages. What do they do? Fucking don't know. Might as well be magic.
Right.
Is it really just technology? Maybe. Who cares? Magic.
I mean, Vorlons were practically gods.
Yeah, fair.
We don't know yet. But they said they've got a new system, and it's like a buffing system. It is going to be a smaller model count game. They said.
Yeah, more skirmish, which is a good idea because skirmish is sort of the way of the future.
Yeah.
Yes.
You won't have to. They said like units are like 3 to 5 or 5 to 7, something like that. I can't remember.
3 to 5 would be perfect. I think 3 to 5 is a great size for unit.
They did say that like you can customize your warcaster because you will have warcasters, and so you can customize them and make them the way you want, which is okay. I mean, no big
You
deal.
like point by equipment and stuff, or
We think that's what
skills
it's
or
going to be.
whatever?
Yeah, we think that's
Okay.
what it's going to be. Like you pick, I want John the Warcaster, and John the Warcaster has his base abilities, but you can upgrade him with XYZ.
Yeah.
Science cannon. I want a fucking science cannon, goddammit.
And so we'll have to see. You can also customize your warjacks, because they said they will have warjacks still.
Because it is the same universe still.
Yes.
And it is sort of like
In the medium grim darkness.
in the 50 Shades of Grim Medium, there is only warcasters and warjacks.
Yep.
Psychics, no magic.
So, but
And
they,
no one knows what makes warjacks tick, so they have to do special rituals to keep them alive.
No, that's really, really close to some other grimdark.
I don't know what you could be talking about.
I don't.
but they did say that there are no space elves. So that was like something that I thought was funny.
Congratulations, players were very angry.
Yeah. So there's no space elves, but
So there's no space circle?
So I think actually not having space elves, not having space dwarves is actually a good idea. You can do much more interesting things, but as I don't feel like their game is going to be actual science fiction, I'm not sure what they're going to do.
But wouldn't it be cool if it ended up being actual science fiction?
I mean, it would be cool, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Man.
I mean, they're talking about. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they could have done more interesting things by taking their taking it magic and making it magic in space, which is a very
Like the
uncommon thing
Force?
to do. Like the Force. I mean, actually, the Force is magic. I mean, the midichlorians, in your
Right.
blood, let you have ability to. No one fucking cares.
Right.
Magic.
magic. So
But that was interesting reveal. The harsh side of it is I feel like they need to get other stuff together first, but it's good to know they're working on other stuff. They need to diversify also, so
yeah.
it's hard. How do you diversify and keep your shit together? It's hard. I don't know how companies do it, I'll be honest.
But I mean, I'm interested. It'll be something new and different, especially if it's a smaller game size, because there's no way I could get into another War Machine and Horde style monetary value again.
Yeah. I mean, smaller model counts the way forward. It's kind of interesting because it's going to have a fight because Infinity is a really solid game and a lot of people like it, and it sort of has that sci-fi skirmish level feel plus Trevor's game.
I think there's room for just as many sci-fi skirmish games as there are fantasy games out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but my worry is that by oversaturating a certain segment of the game genres, you might hurt everyone. You've got the established ones. Sci-fi game. You got 40K. It's never going to die. Infinity seems like it's here to stay. But then, if you put too many out competing with other games, you're going to start. They're all going to fail rather than just one of them. Rather than one of them succeeding, you're going to have all these games potentially fail because you're diluting the pool. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens with that.
Yeah.
You'll need some good, solid, innovative tactics and mechanics. Not same old, same old. You'll need to do something interesting with it. And And for Christ's sakes, you're going to have shit hot models.
Yes.
Oh God, yes.
'Cause you're
Yeah,
competing with
you can't
Infinity
have these
and Games
chunky ass models.
Yeah. Because if you're going to compete with Infinity and Games Workshop, which are two of the big dogs on the shit hot models, and you're going to have to do it right.
Yeah.
I mean, I love they have some good sculptors, but
Doug's
they've
amazing.
got some chunky ass models.
The problem is that their best models are like GW's average models and Infinity's sort of slightly above average models.
There are so many companies, and there are so many people who are skilled at doing, digital sculpting
It's
they could
materials.
use.
Materials holding them back. Hats off to not relying on plastic cast in China, because that's going to get interesting here coming up.
I'm just talking about sculpting alone.
Oh yeah,
not the material it ends up being printed in or cast in.
Well, that's sort of the thing with their models, is their models are held back by the fact that, to be blunt, because I'm slightly drunk, they use shit material. The rustic stuff they've been using for years is terrible.
Shitty.
It's not the worst material, but it is one of the worst.
Yes.
It's just not good.
And when you've got games like the Dark Sword, Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Where it's just pre-assembled,
super good
plastic.
Quality.
It's not the best quality, but damn, if those models don't look fantastic, and yeah, you can clean the mold lines off of them and paint them up to look really nice. I've seen it.
That quality is better than the quality of the Steamforged game stuff, and that stuff's pretty solid too.
Yeah. So there's no reason.
No reason. Yeah, you got to bring it. If you're making a miniatures game, you got to bring it. If you're just making a board game that happens to have models, like if you make Riot Quest and it's mostly a board game you just happen to have models for, and the models are mediocre, no one cares, because it's technically a board game just happens to have models. That's okay.
Right.
But if you're making a pure honest to God miniatures game,
you got to be competitive with the quality of other miniature games.
I'm going to say this once, and this will segue us into the next section there, Gonzo.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put your shit in actual print. Do not rely just on a fucking app for your rules and shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Downloads in your app, not it.
As surprising as it sounds, people want a book. They want something tangible that they can hold, that they can flip through, that they can look at pictures in.
Yes. It also helps the stores because it puts something on the shelf that they can put up there and go, hey, look, this game, you can't sell an app. You'd have to have someone really into it, bring out their phone or their tablet or someone to play a game to show you stuff. The book will sell it better than anything else.
Yes.
Speaking of which, new supplement, Gonzo. Here it's going to be in print.
Let's go. Hey, Crimson 19.
You're 100% on that. Well, not what we're talking about Private Press, yeah.
One of the things that that is coming out is the new Oblivion story campaign, which is the shakeup of the Iron Kingdoms.
That's gonna be dinner, damn.
The Iron Kingdoms, is getting destroyed due to the Infernals coming out wanting their 2/3 of creatures or whatever, and so there's a story, which is great. A story campaign. I love story campaigns. I wish more people played it because they're a lot of fun. And so they have a lot of stuff coming out for it. All for it. Completely. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
The core of it, absolutely 100% in. A print book, cool stuff, narrative campaign. That's what you were missing.
When you buy it, you get a miniature and all the little supplements and so on and so forth. And you get their new rule set. AKA, not new rule set is what they said, but a cleanup of the rules.
Remix?
Yeah.
Mark III Remix.
Yeah. We understand that it's not a full, complete new, but they are changing up things in there.
We hit first out of those, because that's probably the bigger news. I mean, it's cool to talk about new everything and, new book and everything. What really sort of stole the show is the two big spoilers, rules-wise, if you will.
Let's go with the big one that everybody's going to come complaining about since the beginning of Mark III, and that's Themeless. No, Themeless. We'll go to Hills in a little bit.
I had to.
Let's go to Themeless. Themeless have always been an issue. Always
the
been.
game wasn't actually designed around them, even they said they were. They sort of came in afterwards. They, I want to believe that they came in after the fact as this is the way we should make the game. It's easier to balance and everything. Sort of like that Epiphany idea. It sort of feels that way to me. And now they got this update. Sorry, go ahead, Gonzo.
The update is about theme lists. They're going to redesign theme lists where you have a little bit more flexibility and lists have a little bit more flexibility. And
That's
they
slightly untrue. So it makes it less of a math problem, which I like
yes.
a lot.
Pretty much what's going on is you don't have to pay. It's not like, oh, you have to bring so many of this model to get this thing.
It's no 20 points of X to bring free Y.
Correct.
It's now, you're paying a 25-point list, you get one benefit. You're playing a 50-point list, you get two benefits. Could be the same one twice. You're playing a 75-point list, you get three benefits. Could be the same one three times.
Yeah. But it also opens up a little bit more flexibility because the models that you can do and with that is opened up too.
So,
But
kind of does. Yeah.
It kind of does and it kind of doesn't. Because I look at it and I look at the competitive side of it and I'm like, I'm probably going to take the same thing anyway.
But it makes every other version of it better.
Correct.
So no longer is it like, oh, I'm playing Rhett and I have to take more of this infantry I don't want to play with just to get the benefits to be competitive.
Correct.
That is a great idea. Hats off. It's a great idea. The problem is, I depending on how they change the theme force, because no one's seen it yet. No one really knows. This could, with their changes, fix everything. But the benefits have to be equal. The restrictions have to be equal, and you're still going to have cookie cutter fucking lists.
You are. There are some people that are still going to have. And the thing is, this is also a community thing that's a problem, is everybody tries to optimize their lists for tournament play.
Well, that's the deeper problem of War Machine.
Yeah.
That's every game ever.
Yeah.
Not true. There are people who play other games. This game is literally about that because, if you make it so you have to take all the good stuff to make, to get all your free points, no one has the option of not taking all the good stuff.
Wait, so then every army is exactly the same? Because why wouldn't it be?
Not exactly, but every army of a certain theme list are very, very fucking similar because there are right answers and wrong answers.
Yeah.
This changes that a little bit, so there's less right and wrong answers. It's more of your set of points can be completely different than his set of points, but you both get the benefits because there's no longer is this arbitrary bring, for every 20 points of troops you get a free model or any bullshit like that. So that will help a lot. But they're going to have to be real careful about the benefits of Theme Force, making sure they're even. And the real problem is you're still very limited lists because they announced at the same time, I think Jay Larson covered this, sometime in the future after Oblivion releases, a couple months afterwards, they're going to turn off non-Theme Force lists. You will not be able to make non-Theme Force lists and have them be legal. So I'll let that sink in for a second. Oh, yeah. I was on Twitter. They're going to have a while for a little bit where you can do both, and then they're going to just flip the switch, I think, and then it's going to be... someone obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Jay saying that on Twitter.
Or maybe it was speculation.
Well, not speculation. Like, he heard it from somebody, and they're going to flip the switch, and there will be non-theme-forced lists.
That's interesting.
Let me see if I can find it, if you got some time for commentary.
Yeah, well, because, one of the things that I like about this is it does free up things to happen, and hopefully we won't see nothing but cookie-cutter lists.
I think, actually, in my non-drunken stupor, I misread it. Is for a while, you'll have the option to make it in either theme force, and then after a certain point, you'll only be able to make it with the new theme forces. That actually makes much more sense.
Oh, okay. So they're not turning off themes. They're just going to be...
No, well, they're turning off non-themes, but, honestly, you're going to play themes because it's benefits, and that's really... It's still one of the remaining large problems. This goes a long way towards fixing it. I don't want to sound like I'm negative. I think it is a great idea. A great idea. I think it'll go a long way towards fixing things. But by the same method, I don't think it's enough to make me play again. The end all be all was that I just made lists and I fucking hated them. They didn't seem interesting to me at all. There's a handful that did, and most of them getting nerfed. Hashtag irregulars. Actually, the other one I like is Will Work for Food, and they're going to lose a free model too. I mean, it's less of a deal for that, but it is funny that the two lists I actually liked making lists for are the ones that are going to get nerfed.
Hmm.
It is what it is. I'm not like upset at all. I mean, that ship has sailed. I would like it if they made it to a point where I'd want to play the game again, but I'm not going to fault them for not. Obviously, I think the game's passed me by. It's in a different spot than I am. We diverged somewhere along the roads, and it went its way. I went my way, and I'm waving to it, going, "Have a good time, dude."
Yeah, I think what I'm really interested in is once it's hit, what changes it's going to make to the competitive scene, because
I
there
don't care.
you may not, but I do.
No, it's not like that harsh like that.
Oh, okay.
I think they worry too much about the competitive scene. Stop worrying about the competitive scene. Worry about the non-competitive scene. That's what's fucking killing them.
Okay,
They
but
don't
here's the
play
thing:
non-competitive.
we know what the game is about, and we know why it's the way it is. And we know that everybody, for the most part, look at the competitive scene, and for doing this stuff. I want to see what the shakeup's going to be, because we always get into the arguments of why would you take that when X and Y is better.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to see, if we actually change that attitude.
I
If we change that attitude of how we think things are going to be.
think it would take years of therapy to change that attitude.
Yeah.
But
But,
I don't fault people. This game is predicated among competitive. I understand that,
yeah.
but it doesn't have to be that way.
It'll
And-
be interesting to see. I want to see
Yeah.
what happens.
If the book has got cool narrative scenarios, that could go a long way towards it too.
Yep.
There is some positive come out of this. Like if you're like me and you're not sure, it's worth looking at.
Yeah.
I will probably not pick up the book, but I will absolutely take a look at it, listen to it, listen to Gonzo tell me about it with with rapt attention to see what they did. I am interested to see what they do, but I'm not holding my breath for a complete reversal there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see what's going on. I want to make sure that they do good, because it's a game I like to play. I haven't had a chance to play it lately, but I'm definitely going to be playing it this week because the new Steamroller packet is out, or will be out, I should say. New Steamroller scenarios are going to be out, and
You should send me a copy when it comes in, because I won't go looking for it myself. If you send it to me, I'll take a look at it, because that's another remaining thing. Those scenarios are fuck awful.
Yeah, well, they
No
did do a
choice.
change up. There is changes to it.
I heard that, and I have hope in my heart, because I'm trying to be a positive person, and I hope that they are better and more interesting. But I have this feeling that they're set. They know what they want, and it's not what I want, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, part of being an adult is knowing when something's passed you by and just letting it go.
Yeah. I have looked at all the ones that we had in CID and looked at it and tested it, and I like the way we're going.
Okay.
There's some ones
Your
that are
opinion means
really
a lot
good.
to me.
They did some good changes. I can't wait to see what they stuck with, because everything changes in CID.
Yeah,
So we're
absolutely.
going to wait to see what they stuck with.
To be fair, I think CID is actually part of the problem, as terrible as that sounds.
Well, let me go on that real quick. I was watching the finals, and Jay and Hungerford were talking, and of course, there's downtimes between when people are thinking, so they're just trying to figure out stuff to think about. And Hungerford brought up a really good point, that they're going to be doing a dynamic update, because someone brought in, why haven't y'all nerfed XYZ? Why haven't y'all changed XYZ? It's a burden on the community, blah, 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 blah. And so he brought up that not everything needs to be in CID. Not
Fair.
everything needs to be brought up like that.
In
They're-
fact, I think their CID cycle should be set. They're going to have X cycles a year, and stuff can be changed without being in CID. You don't need everyone to take a look at it. As a matter of fact, honestly, they need to balance shit better out the gate, and reducing CID as a crutch for them would help them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
remember when the Zeros came out? The
Yep.
fact that Sevi came out with the rules he did, and Kane, they were like, "What the fuck are you doing? You guys balancing anything?"
Yeah. Well,
I got a 12-year-old here playing the game who knows that's bullshit.
they said that there is going to be a dynamic update.
Cool.
And the dynamic update is going to have to cover a wide variety of stuff, for the simple
Absolutely.
reason of what we're going to talk about next. And this
Let's
one,
keep going.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing I've heard in a while. But go ahead.
they're getting rid of heals in the game. All right. And so people are like, why are you getting rid of heals? And they're like, well, the terrain doesn't do shit and it's too complicated for new players.
Hold
Okay.
on. I have to say this. I am slightly drunk. Warning. That's what's so complicated for new players. Hills?
Well,
Have you
the
looked at your
rules,
fucking
the
scenario pack?
rules,
Hills are easy.
no, technically they aren't. Because you have elevation, you have arcing fire, you have
Oh,
other
You
things.
have math? Is that what you're
No.
trying to say? You have mathematics?
no. It's hills are not hard.
But they are definitely getting rid of heals. I thought that they were like going to just change the way heals worked
Which would be fine. That is the
bec-
correct response.
because of the elevation rule. Nobody
Yes,
uses
elevation
elevation.
rule is once you get it down, you're like, okay, it's fine. It's a little wonky, but I understand how that works.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
they're
it's-
just like, fuck it, out the door.
yeah. So they're getting rid of hills, which I thought was interesting for the fact that one, okay, hills are there for a reason. In Mark II, they were you exploited the shit out of them.
Absolutely. Well, so I went on a rant on Twitter earlier. I'm not going to go recount the whole thing, but it was terrain related. And the crux of it is modern miniature games have no fucking idea what they're doing with terrain. It is either utterly worthless or, like War Machine, either the best thing ever or might as well not be there.
Correct.
It's really feast or famine with the terrain, and they need to make it more interesting. Like, they're getting terrain down to the point where the way people build boards, and this is not entirely that, this is not Power Press's fault. We have to take some of this on ourselves. I see a lot of boards where there is no reason to choose anything other than go first because the terrain is fucking uninteresting and 100% even.
Correct.
That's not how it should be.
So boring.
Yes. People want a wide open field to fight with their shit in the middle of the table. Not
Don't they have like objectives and missions and stuff?
Mm-hmm, they do.
let's not start that. Trust me, Kathy. You don't want to open that particular Pandora's box. I'm just talking about terrain, and it's I don't think any company's really doing it right.
I'll agree with you on that. Okay, I take that back. The one company I think that is doing it right is Infinity. Infinity, I think, is the
Infinity-
best. In my
Infinity
opinion.
falls into the one of the categories where their terrain is so specific to Infinity, it is all but unusable in other games.
Only because you don't know the bolt action terrain rules. And I'm
That's
not
fair.
the person to explain that, but having played bolt action a couple times and dealing with terrain, you have a ton of interesting terrain on the board. And if you don't have it, it's a really boring game.
Historical games are historically, pun intended, better at terrain because they're using historical inferences of what can happen.
And why can't they translate that into these fantasy sci-fi games?
If I knew that, I'd be running a game company.
Right. So
But yeah, I mean, it's just really weird. I mean, I would agree Infinity does have good terrain rules, but that was one of the categories I talked about where the terrain is so specific. Like Infinity terrain, you can really most of it. Like if you have a whole Infinity board, you can only use most of that in like Necromunda.
Yes.
40k, there's no way in God's green earth.
No.
Maybe in Warcaster when that comes out, because small units mean that some of this terrain might be better. We'll have to see how that works. It's sort of the thing with Legion. Now, Legion and Warcaster seem like they'll have some crossover with terrain because they're going to have similar sized units. So that might be good. But it's if you have good terrain for a game, it's so specific to that game, it's unusable in other games. Therefore, you have to buy it yourself. And the stores and clubs won't buy it because it's not cost effective.
Going to go with a little bit here to break off. I just tried the Skeleton Horde for a skin tone. Said, what the hell? Tried it on the skin tone. And it does really good for skin tone, by the way.
now, did you have another base color underneath it?
Nope, just the white primer, the Wraithbone primer. I just put it on very, very thin. And it did some really good,
Thanks,
Screwball.
Crimson. I almost spit out my drink. Crimson says, and it's a very harsh opinion, I don't necessarily totally agree. He says, War Machine Hordes terrain looks like someone vomited random mouse pads on a table.
Yes.
Whereas it's done in an orderly manner, like, for example, having long trenches that look like actual trenches that someone in World War One dug, or houses that are lined up with the fences, fields, etc.
I guess stop paying for this because there's something that brought up. During the finals, they had a 3D house. Great.
Okay.
They had
Awesome.
a 3D house. They had a little footprint for the forest with a couple of forests on it.
Awesome.
They had 3D flags. Awesome. They had an acid pool that was 3D.
Unnecessary.
But I mean, it had
2D
bubble.
acid pool,
Yeah,
fine, but
it had like a bubble feel to it and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. I think that was about it for the most part. Almost everything was 3D in some
Awesome.
form or fashion. During the game process, one of the players hits the house. Now the house was made of styrofoam or some really light material, and so he hit it, and it moved the models out of where they were. The judge came over, paused the clock, and says, "Let me fix it," and put it back. And during the chat, someone goes, "See, that's the reason why we don't need 3D terrain, because it messes up gameplay." And I'm like, I was waiting for it. I was just waiting for it. And Hungerford goes, "No, that is not why we get rid of 3D terrain. We need 3D terrain. We need 3D terrain better than anything else right now." And he started going off on it. He says, it doesn't have to be this super, thing that everybody's doing. He understands that, yes, this is a hyper-competitive game. Yes, measurements are there, but 3D makes the game better. And he was fully supportive of it, which I thought was really good to hear that from a PvP person. And he's like,
Hungerford's got his head in the right spot.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I'm so happy he's still there and doing his thing. And
It's-
I want to say this straight up, is that if one of the two things have to go, super ultra precise hyper competitiveness or 3D terrain, well, the competitiveness can go the fuck out the door. It's a fucking game with toy soldiers.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we're still just playing with toy soldiers.
yeah. So, I mean, I thought that was a really good thing.
One step, just one.
Because what was funny was Hungerford goes, "Well, look at that, the bird. What's the freaking bird's name? The circle gargantuan." He's like, "Well, what the hell? What if someone hits those
Storm
wings? Stormraptor. What happens if someone hits that? Do we just play with 2D models now?" And I was like, "Oh, damn."
Yeah. Now we're just
I mean-
going right back to cardboard counters.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Let's
That's
just
called
play
a board
let's
game.
just play ASL.
Yeah. But he made that point.
Play Disc Wars. If you remember Disc Wars, do you remember Disc
Mhm.
Wars? One. God remembers Disc
Yep.
Wars. Where your
Mhm.
models were discs,
Yep.
and you flipped them as their movement. I am not shitting you.
Yeah.
I am not drunk enough to make that up.
Yeah. But he made a good point that there really didn't need to be all this hoopla about it. It was fine the way it was. Yes, it did get bumped a couple of times, but it shouldn't matter. One of the solutions that I saw at a tournament was they had 3D built buildings. Okay, great, I love that. But what they did is they put the mouse pad underneath it, and the building set on top of it. So in case something did happen,
You can remove
Perfect.
the
You can-
terrain, and the flat terrain is still there.
correct,
Yeah,
100%.
that's what they do in Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah,
We were talking about this on Twitter. Was we need like 2.5D terrain where you have 1D for certain thing or 2D for certain things, and then 3D for most of it, or 3D sits on top of the 2D.
Yeah.
Like trenches, you don't need dugout trenches. That is never going to make models stand properly.
Right.
Water
right.
features, anything that sort of goes down to the table, you're generally okay with it being flat on the table.
yeah.
The same with hills. They go up high, but having a hill being a flat piece is awesome. I like the GW hills, but I understand they are sometimes horrific for movement.
Yeah. But I mean, it was the whole point that there is a place for it, and he was completely all on it, going, yes, 3D, you're rah for it, which I'm like, good, because that's what we need. But I understand the reasoning behind the hills, because he did say that, yes, most hills it is hard to get a model on the sides to stay in flat and stand where they are. That it is a hash.
Flat terrain. If we're using flat terrain for most things, why is flat hills a problem suddenly?
I'm gonna ask him about that. I'm gonna give him a holler and say, hey, since we use
let's not pester him too much. I mean, he's
Nah.
getting a lot of these. If that's the decision they've made, it's too far gone. This is not playtest decision. This is a decision.
Yeah, it is. But
Done.
I want to pick his brain for a little bit. But it was so far what I like and what I've seen out of the Lock and Load keynote and just watching the few games that I watched. It's headed in the right direction. They are trying. Whether the community is willing to do it, and I think that's the really reason we need to think about, is what's going to matter. Because there's a lot of communities that just don't. They want the flat terrain because it's better on their game and it's better. There's not an issue and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, that's not what we're thinking about. That's what we need. We need to have. We want 3D terrain. Everybody does. But whether the community wants it is a different story.
Yeah,
and that's what's going to be rushed.
He finds terraced flat top hills to be not really a problem most of the time. I agree. The hills that are flat on top and then harsh sides are perfect hills. You just make the rule be you have to go end fully on the hill or you're not on it.
You still have to do that.
Like you can't go up because, it takes a little extra to go up. You didn't have the extra to go up. And if you end partially off because you're going down, you go all the way down because that's momentum. Yeah. That's not a big deal.
I'm kind of curious of what they're going to do. I want to see the extent of all the changes. Sorry, I'm not painting on the screen.
Yeah, it's got to be more than that, and I'm really interested. There are people who have good ideas on what terrain should and shouldn't be, and I'm interested to see if they get them. Yeah. But we'll have some time to wait for that.
Yeah. Was it August or something?
I don't know. I didn't really. I read it. Isn't that enough? I spent a lot of time looking at a game I don't play right now. In fact, I may just give L. Marshall all my models to keep in case someone wants to use them. Just taking up space over here right now.
Yeah.
But, hey, Case, we should give away stuff before the movie section, Gonzo.
We should give away stuff? Why should we give away something? God.
Look,
all right, if you are watching...
a slightly drunk guy in charge of this, and he remembered, so you should give something away.
And you would like to be in a drawing for the deciduous tree and the ruined masonry wall, type in chat, me. Otherwise, you will not be in the drawing.
And now 3 times.
That me, am I?
No, it's me.
Me.
Because
we're not just going to give it away, because we do know we have some bots in there. Oh, look at Crimson. He's like all in on this.
It does exclamation point beforehand also. Well played, sir.
Yeah. Moondoggers. And we will do that. We will give everybody a little bit, because we need to switch over to the media section.
Moondoggets.
Let's go to our media section. We talk about what we had and what we watched this week. I am not entirely sold. I think I put the black on too hard on this, and it doesn't look as cool. So I have to redo this model again.
Let it dry, then decide afterwards.
Yeah, man.
3 coats look like?
3 coats is a little too much. Yeah. I think I may try 1 coat again and see what it is and go from there. The Trooper turned out really pretty decent. I'm going to...
Well, the good thing, Gonzo, is that this is a model you plan on using for normal stuff. You can just shade and highlight him as normal.
Well, I'm gonna probably reprime him. But I do have one model that I want to try out that I'm going to do. I didn't get to try the Space Wolf Gray on it, so I will do that, and I'll post some pictures of it later. Let's talk about our movies. Kathy, you got anything this week?
Nope.
What? I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have 1.
Holy shit! Y'all need to quit sucking.
Hold on. Slow your roll. That was
season.
7 hours of 1. All right.
7 hours of one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watched.
I can actually join in on the conversation about that because I've seen it.
Yeah, so have I.
There you go.
We can all talk about it.
What's up now, Gonzo? Huh?
Yep.
What's up now?
What's up now? All right. So I guess I'll go with mine first. One of mine first.
Good call.
I watched a movie, Netflix, of course, called The Call Up. The Call Up is about a group of video game players that got called up to play in a new virtual reality game system where they get their gamer tag on their suit, they put on this suit, they put on this helmet. Yeah. Wait, hold on.
It sounds like 3 space herpes immediately.
I was just thinking, is this like a really low budget Last Starfighter?
Well, what it is they get called up to play in this new virtual reality simulator that they have. And what it is these people are video game players from around the world and so on and so forth, and they get to try out this new system. All right, no biggin. And of course, everybody's the stereotype. They have a fat, nerdy kid that thinks he's the greatest video game player, but when he gets in this, he, can't do shit or freaks out about shit. Then you have one person that's actually Arabic, and his gamer tag is the terrorist.
Okay.
That's a space herpy right there.
Yeah. Two girls, one that thinks she's the badass, and then one that is and can't do. And then there's one that can't do anything. Then there's the ex-military guy that excels at all this stuff because he was in the military. They have to use things like you would normally. So since it's VR, you gotta use your hand. You gotta shoot. So on and so forth. Of course, the nerd does the side gun shot and all that, so much stereotype, so much crap.
Cliche police pull the movie over halfway through.
Yeah, oh, okay. So the story is, I'm not even that you get damage in the game and you feel the damage on your suit. Okay, cool. They have a haptic suit. And if you get shot, your armor goes away, then you get shot again, it goes to your body, and you can start dying. But if someone comes up and uses a stim pack on you, you get back in your healed and you're back in the game. Sweet. But they find out that when you get shot, it actually feels like you're dying in and out of the game. And so people are, like, oh, this is bullshit, I'm leaving the game, this is not what I signed up for. Of course, they can't leave the game.
Of course.
They're locked in this building, they can't get out, so on and so forth. And so people find out that one guy actually dies. He actually gets shot. He actually takes damage. He feels like he's dying, and their helmets cause like some type of thing to happen, and it actually kills them. And so now they're in this thing where they're actually dying. Of course, it devolves into, people killing each other because the only stim packs are there. They have to get them, and it's just bad. Holy crap, this thing is bad. The acting is horrible. The ending is horrible. The movie is just horrible. I sat through the whole thing. Thank you, world. I took the punishment from you this time. You didn't have to deal with that punishment.
Are you telling me I should watch a Gamer again instead of watching that?
Gamer was a whole lot better compared to this.
Woo! That's a hell of a statement.
So this one's pushing, the 4 herpes,
Atlantic
4 space.
Rim?
It's not at Atlantic Rim because Atlantic Rim had some shitty. This had better special effects. How about that?
Everything has better special effects. I made a Hamlet play in 1992 with a camcorder that had better special effects than Atlantic Rim.
But it was bad. 100% horrible. I'm talking, minimum 3.5. We're pushing 4 to 4.5 space herpes. Pass it up. Don't watch it. Don't. I warned you.
Life.
I warned you. I've given you. If you watch it now, that's all on you, not me. Sorry.
Girls, don't do that. The last time I did this to somebody, it was Mouth John, and he watched Atlantic Rim anyways.
It's bad.
Did he have regrets?
Yes.
Oh,
Get all the regrets.
Oh, this beer's so
you want to
good.
do another one real quick before we go into...
Yeah. Let's talk about something I really liked. So the new The Grinch came. It was on Netflix too. So I was like, cool. I can watch this. I like the old Grinch. And it's the new, been made in 2018.
so not Jim Carrey.
No, this is the cartoon version.
Excuse me.
And I'm watching it, and it's got the same story kind of plot line as the original. The old style Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
With Lucy, and all of them, and all the things. The dog is amazing in this one, like usual.
The dog's always great.
Yeah, the dog's always great. It was pretty much just a new take on the old Grinch cartoon that we watched.
Did it have the proper Grinch song in it? 'Cause
No, it didn't have that. It had some other
Fuck it.
stuff.
by
Yeah,
But
right.
wait,
Gone.
it does have something with it, but it is not the entire thing. It has been updated.
maybe
It was good. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be, you ruined my childhood type thing, but it wasn't.
Like
no
the Jim
Grinch
Carrey
song
one.
means ruin my childhood. I mean, that's hand in hand.
But it was really, really good for a new, take on it and a new spin on the Grinch. It still had the same, attitude of the Grinch, same, pissy, crappy personality type thing, but it was really, really good. I really liked it. I had a blast watching it. I was really surprised. They added some things in there that were like, okay, you could have, but you can tell that they were kind of filling time and making new stuff for the new spin. But it kept the same story, same plot, same stuff that you're used to, but was done really well. The art was good, animation was good. It was plenty fun. I had a blast with it. Highly recommend it if you like the Grinch. It's not a long one. I think it's like an hour and 30 minutes or something. So,
Let's pose one additional question, Gonzo. You watched a Christmas movie in June?
I did because, hey,
Like, you didn't even wait for Christmas in July?
No, nope. I'm just, I take the pain for y'all to watch the things in case they're bad. That's my service to my community. But it was actually really good. I would give it like 1.5, maybe 2, if you're, super.
I feel like you gotta go to 2 because it doesn't have the Grinch song in it. Because
Yeah.
fucking A.
But it was really good. I was really impressed with it. I was expecting crap, and I got good. So highly recommend it. Go watch it.
Cool.
All right, John.
Well, I just watched 7 episodes of Stranger Things season 2, which would be episodes 3 through 9, which is the end.
Mm-hmm.
And unshockingly, it was awesome.
Of course.
Done very well. Now, I had been warned about a certain thing that was going to happen, and they sort of tease it really early on. Episode 7 is where Elle goes and meets her sister and basically runs the street gang in Chicago for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And people complained about that, and I think it is important for the series because it is character development for her, and she's not had a lot to do up until sort of that point, right before that.
Yep.
And it definitely plays into her quote unquote leveling up. The only problem I have with it is it does absolutely totally destroy the tension they built up at the end of episode 6.
It does. It kind of felt out of place. Is the best way to put
I
it.
was wearing that shirt yesterday.
I know. That's the reason I wore this shirt just for you, John, because I love you.
I appreciate it. But yeah, it destroyed the tension, and that was a problem. I got done with episode 6. I'm like, oh, I got to watch episode 7. It starts, and I immediately see where it's going because someone's told me that thing's coming. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go something else. I'm not going to... Because generally one episode of a show is what I can do in a night, maybe 2 if it's good or I'm trying to marathon something. But since, I've got a bit before Baney and I can start watching Discovery, at least later this week at the earliest, I decided not to marathon it because I'm like, I know what's coming on. They've just destroyed the tension for me. I might as well let it go, dwell on it, and then come back fresh so I'm not, quote-unquote, upset that they destroyed the tension. And I think it's not what it is. I don't think it was that people were upset because it was a bad episode, because it was a good episode. I think they're upset because it destroyed the tension that they built at the end of episode 6.
It just didn't feel like it belonged. It felt like it was like an offshoot tangent. You're just like, what? Why is
There's
this?
no other place for it. There's no earlier spot because of how it works in. But I still like it. It doesn't even, spoiler, zero space herpes.
Oh, yeah. And new season starts in next week?
July 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Can't wait
But
for
it's
the
done
season.
very well. I like where everything went with it. Some things were cliche, but they were done in an interesting way with the cliche. The new bad boy, if you will, and Steve fighting was interesting.
Yep.
I like pretty much all the parts. The kids feel like kids for the most part, They all act sort of differently based on who they are. Everyone seems fairly consistent with who they've sort of evolved to this season. And the Dogs for Cola, it was kind of unfortunate to see they always have to kill somebody who seems kind of interesting, and they did that this time too, which is unfortunate. But
you got to wonder that when are they going to stop it, because the kids can't stay kids forever.
no, I mean the thing is they're compressing it a year every time, which is good.
Correct. They're not making it a few months.
So we'll see. I mean, eventually, I'm sure they'll get to the end of a season like, yeah, that's a good point to end it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for the next one. Paul Reiser is guest star in this one. I had what was his name last time? He's in a couple episodes this season too.
I don't remember.
God damn it! I need to hit some Google, don't I? My
Which
brain.
character?
The Doctor. Boom. Stranger Things. He's one of the big actors, you know. Matthew Modine was the big doctor in the first one, and then Paul Reiser is sort of a big actor doctor in this one. I really like Paul Reiser's character. He wasn't what you expected. They avoided most of the cliches with him. It was good. Very enjoyable. I mean, it's one of the few series that gets 0 space herpes through 2 seasons, which is hard to do. I think the only other one would maybe The Expanse that I can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, Firefly might have gotten to 0 if they had a second season.
Yeah.
Bad. But no, it started off strong. I like how it was only 9 episodes. It is the perfect amount. Anything else would have had actual filler. And very good, very pleased. I'm looking for the next season. I might not watch it right away, but it is high on my list. Anyone else want to throw anything else in on it?
No, I'm good with you. I agree with you. Great. Can't wait for the new season.
Yeah, me too, pretty much. Nothing new, really, to add.
Yes, it's awesome. This just in. John's late to the party, sorry.
I have 2 more to go. I started watching a new series. Actually, it's kind of 3, but I'll glance over one of them. There is a new show on Science Channel or Discovery called Savage Builds. It's Adam Savage from the Mythbusters, and he builds things. And he builds things to see if he can do it, which is kind of cool. The first episode was build my own Iron Man suit that can actually fly, which I thought was a cool little thing. They do a lot of cool things there, like they showed how they 3D printed a titanium suit of armor. So I thought that was pretty neat. They showed how you actually print titanium armor. Not, cut it out and mold it. They had this printer at this one laboratory. They did it, and they printed out 3D, suit of armor for Iron Man.
For any material they can make it work with is the way of the future.
Oh, yeah. It was really, really cool to see that. Being, a 3D printer myself on a piece of shit machine compared to what they have was really cool, and they showed the process, and it was incredible.
That's cool, and it's good to see Adam Savage in something again, because Adam Savage is a great personality.
Yes. They did a bulletproof test on the armor. They shot the armor with like a 22 9mm and I think a 40 caliber. The 9mm just kind of bounced off, did no problem. Or the 22 did the same thing.
It's 22. It bounces off hard jackets.
Yeah. The 40 shattered. What I thought was interesting about the whole thing is he brought up a very good point, that while the armor can deflect all the bullets, when the bullet shatters and it gets in between the cracks of the armor, that's a problem, which I thought was a very cool thing.
Modern armor has the sort of rhino lining on it, because the bullet hits, shatters, and gets caught in the lining, so it doesn't actually spall anywhere. Yeah,
well, that was something he brought up, because they had the ballistic gel dummy, and in the neck there were some bullet fragments in the neck, and they were like, "This is the reason why you have to have cover everywhere."
Yep.
So it was bulletproof, and then they were like, "Okay, now we got to see if it's blast proof." So those
rifle rounds. So let's be honest.
Yeah, really, but cool. I mean, for the most part,
bullet resistant.
Yeah. So they did blast proof. So they did some det cord and used a little discs that detect if there's going to be damage or not, and it was blast proof. Cool. No problem. And so they decided to see if they could get it to fly. If anybody's seen it, I'm sure it's all over the internet. Seen it on Facebook with a guy that has the rockets or the jet engines on his fists and he flies around. Adam Savage tried to do that, tried to learn it within like an afternoon. He was able to do it, but not in his own mind that he was safe enough to do it with the suit on. So he was like, nope, I got off the ground. I was able to hover for a little bit, but I'm not going to push my luck. And I'm sure the insurance were like, nope, fuck you. You're not doing that. And so they had the guy that actually can control the suit, have him wear the Iron Man suit and have him fly it. They did. And I mean, he didn't do these awesome, standard Iron Man, fly up into the atmosphere, come back down, blah, blah, blah. But he was able to give a hovering flight and move around and technically fly in an Iron Man suit. It was cool. I thought it was a really cool show. I'm going to continue to watch it. I watched the second episode. The second episode is the Doom Wheel, where I think it was World War II. The wheel with a bunch of rockets on it, and it spun and would blow up stuff. It was an interesting.
It was a Nazi weapon, I think, from World War II.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch that. And Adam Savage is Adam Savage in this. He gets super excited about the stupidest shit because whether it works or not, because that's just who he is.
Well, relevant to our hobby, if you want more Adam Savage, you want something relevant to our hobby, check out Tested on Adam Savage Tested on YouTube. He has a lot of stuff, and often it is related to our hobby. He'll be making stuff or painting stuff or whatever. His roots are as a model maker, and you can learn a lot by watching him do some crazy stuff. And I heartily suggest you take a look at some of those.
Yeah. Another one that's a quick glance over, BattleBots is back. I love watching some BattleBots, but you can tell that they're hard up for money because they're doing a 2-hour episode, and it's a lot of commercials. There's a lot
of money to get people coming with robots. You got to out for the right money because robots ain't cheap still.
No. So you can tell that they've got a lot of issues with, or they've got a shit ton of commercials. But BattleBots is great. I love seeing robots beat the shit out of each other or blow up or catch on fire or get thrown or so on and so forth. If you like BattleBot season, whatever, you'll like this one. No big
That's
deal.
where Grant Harry got one of his starts, right? He was a big BattleBots guy.
Yep, that's how he got his start. So highly recommend it. No space herpes on these because the season's not over. And really, can you really give a space herpes for learning stuff and watching things blow up?
I mean, if it's bad enough early on, you could give it space herpes.
Correct.
Neither one sounded that bad.
No, they didn't. My final one. John, you didn't have anything else, did you?
No, just the one. I mean,
I've been watching Into the Badlands. This is the last season. For everybody to know, Into the Badlands is a, quote, post-apocalyptic future,
less technology,
samurai ninja, crouching tiger, hidden dragon thing.
I saw the first episode, was intrigued, but never really got into it.
Yeah. Well, this is the last season. It got canceled. I don't know if it got canceled or it ended. I'm only on episode 8.
Let them end it at the end of the season.
Yeah, it could be what it is. But I'm episode 8. I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, why is this? No, disbelief. You got everybody on wires and they're jumping off of rooftops. It's all, wire fighting. You guys, you just turn off reality. Reality has no... Yeah. And of course it can't because there's people that can heal with their hands and people that can kill, with a touch and, all this. And people that have superpowers, so you just kind of turn it off. It's a lot of fun. If you like some cool kung fu flying on wires and beating the crap out of each other and some neat combat moves, 100%.
The first episode was legit. I just never... It was only available through a certain way. It was really difficult to watch. I think it benefited definitely from being on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something.
Yeah. But I mean, it was really, really good. I'm enjoying it. Season's not over. I think it's a 13 or 15 episode season. I'm only on 8. It's because it's the only thing that's on Netflix right now.
I feel like it's on Netflix now?
Yes.
I might have to check it out.
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now up to season 3, episode 8.
Wasn't it AMC originally?
Yes, it is AMC. And I can't get any more episodes out of AMC, so I don't know.
I think that was why I didn't watch originally. You could watch, they had the first episode online, and then after that, it got a little hard to find episodes, so I didn't see the second episode on.
No. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. If anybody else, likes kung fu movies with wires and likes to have some cool stuff, just go ahead and watch it.
Silly Kathy.
Kathy's having some issues because the sound went dead for me. Guys, it is coming down to the end of the podcast. We appreciate everything that y'all do for us.
Give away!
And we only had 2 people. 2 people.
I even prodded for anyone else. No one else jumped in.
No one else jumped in.
Daniel wasn't no deciduous trees. He don't care about that shit.
All right. So let's do the more than dice
I have
way.
a tree, so it's probably okay.
I have a bottle cap. All right.
Oh,
The Milk Dragon bottle cap is heads, which is going to be crimson, and the open is Moondoggy.
Okay,
all right. All right.
I don't have a bottle cap handy.
I
have one.
lots of them.
I have.
I'm going to flip it. No, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to catch it, and whoever comes up gets it. All right. We say it's a good deal. Everybody agree?
I can do that right now.
All right, hold on. Let's see if I can do this without killing myself. All right, ready? And it is open-faced, so Moondoggy gets it.
Yeah, Moondoggy.
Moondoggy, get with me and send me. You can either do it here or through Facebook, if you know us on Facebook. Send me your address, and I will get you your stuff to you.
We'll have more giveaways in the future. We got some online vouchers and such.
Yeah, we have some online vouchers that we can just text you the code so you can use it at different stores. Other than that, guys, we appreciate it. Thank you for watching. It really means a lot. Thank you for listening if you're a listener. Visit all of our sponsors. They help us out a lot. They're really cool. Really, really. Find us on Facebook. That's where you can get a lot of cool stuff. Also, this week, Kathy will not be streaming possibly Tuesday, but for the rest of the week, find her from 3 till
5 Central, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And what are you going to be painting this week?
I'll be throwing some contrast paint on these 2 guys that I've been kind of working on tonight. Just setting up the lights and darks here, and they'll be ready for color.
And I'm on Facebook from about 9 to 9:30 Monday through Thursday.
Yep, John does his little hobby streaks, which he's going to be doing a new reading streak. You going to read online for us?
No.
Oh,
I was going to ask that too. I'm like, ooh, a reading streak.
No, I'm
It
going to
isn't
go lie
gonna
at
be
my
live.
bed, read in bed. I bought a specific lamp just to read in bed. Hold on. I can even do this for you guys.
Awesome.
I bought a lamp that's got a reading light and a regular light just so I could read in bed.
And don't forget about
Mine was too harsh.
mid-July, I will be doing my 24-hour stream for charity again. We'll be doing that. I'll be trying to line up guests to help me stay awake during that whole time, because I'll be trying to paint a bunch of crap too. So, other than that, guys, for More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Good night.
I'm shockingly undrunk considering I'm almost out of Kraken. God, that's rookie numbers. 1 beer? You gotta get those numbers up, son! I painted earlier. I did. She did paint earlier.
I was
focusing
painting.
on varnish count as painting?
Sure.
Yeah, I was painting earlier!